There is a particular kind of not okay that almost never gets named. It doesn't look like a crisis. It doesn't interrupt your schedule or prevent you from functioning. It lives somewhere beneath the surface of ordinary days, in the slight heaviness you've normalized, in the way you say, "I'm fine," before you've even checked whether that's true, in the restlessness that arrives when nothing is wrong, and the flatness that arrives when everything should be good. You are going through the motions, and the motions are working. And somewhere underneath them, something has been quietly accumulating that you haven't had the space to look at honestly. Psychology has a name for this territory, between genuinely well and visibly struggling. It is sometimes called the languishing zone, a concept that sociologist and psychologist Adam Grant brought into wider conversation, describing the state as neither burnout nor depression, but a persistent sense of emptiness and stagnation that makes engagement feel effortful in a way it wasn't used to. It is the absence of the thing that makes ordinary life feel meaningful, without anything dramatic enough to explain the absence. And because it arrives gradually, because the mind adapts to each small shift in baseline, most people living inside it genuinely believe they are fine, not because they are lying to themselves, but because they have no unaffected point of comparison left. The goal of this script is to give you one. Before we go any deeper into psychology, I want you to do something first. 9 questions. Answer honestly. Not how you wish things were. Just what is actually true right now. There are no wrong answers. The only condition is honesty. Question number 1. When someone asks how you are, what is your honest, internal answer lately? A. I'm genuinely okay. There's ease in it. B. I'm stressed but managing functional is the best word for it. C. I say I'm fine, but there's a gap between that and what I actually feel. D. I don't even know how I feel anymore. Question number 2. How is your baseline energy before the day has made any demands of you? A. I wake up feeling like I have something to spend. B. A little drained, but I get going once I'm moving. C. Often tired even after rest, like sleep, isn't fully restoring what the day before took. D. I start most days already at a deficit. Question number 3. When something small goes wrong, a minor inconvenience, a message that lands slightly wrong, what happens inside you? A. It passes quickly. I handle it and move on. B. I feel it, but it doesn't linger more than it should. C. It settles disproportionately and shapes the quality of the hours that follow. D. It feels like proof that something larger is wrong, like it lands on something already overloaded. Question number 4. How connected do you feel to the people around you right now? A. Genuinely connected. I feel reached, and I reach back. B. Somewhat connected, present but not fully there. C. I'm among people but emotionally somewhere else entirely. D. I feel fundamentally alone, even in company. Question number 5. Think about the things that used to matter to you, the activities or experiences that once produced genuine enjoyment. How do they feel now? A. They still feel alive. I'm present in them. B. Sometimes. The feeling is there, but not always as strong. C. Rarely. I go through the motions of enjoying them more than actually enjoying them. D. Almost nothing feels genuinely engaging anymore. Question number 6. What does your inner voice sound like when nothing particular is happening and no one is watching? A. Generally kind. I'm not at war with myself. B. Occasionally critical, but nothing sustained. C. Habitually self-doubting in a way that has started to feel like reality rather than opinion. D. Consistently harsh or running commentary that rarely lets up. Question number 7. How is your sleep? Not how many hours, but what kind? A. Restful. I wake up feeling like sleep did what it was supposed to do. B. Slightly off. Not terrible, but not fully restorative. C. I sleep, but I wake up feeling like I was just waiting to be tired again. D. Frequently disrupted my nervous system. Doesn't seem to fully switch off. Question number 8. When you think forward, even a few months, is there genuine pull in that direction? A. Yes. There are things I'm actually looking forward to. B. Cautious hope. I want it to be good, but I don't fully trust that it will be. C. The future feels mostly abstract. Something I'm managing toward rather than moving toward. D. Thinking about the future produces more dread than anticipation. Question. Number 9. If someone who genuinely cared about you asked how you were really doing, not socially, but actually, what would you tell them? A. I'd give them the real answer. I'm okay, and that's the truth. B. I'd tell them I'm stretched thin, but holding it together. C. I'd struggle to answer honestly, because I'm not sure what the honest answer is anymore. D. I'd probably say, I'm fine, because the real version is too much to explain right now. Hold whatever your answers produced for a moment. If any of this is landing somewhere in you, take a moment to like the video. It helps more people find conversations like this one. And if checking in honestly with where you actually are not where you are performing to be is something you want more space for, subscribing makes that possible. Now here is what those answers are actually pointing at. The experience of functioning is not the same as the experience of being okay. The two can coexist for a long time. And the fact that you are continuing to show up, complete things, appear normal to the people around you, is not evidence that you are fine. It is evidence that you are capable. And capable people in genuine difficulty are the people most likely to remain unidentified and unsupported, because the difficulty doesn't produce the signals that trigger concern in others. If your answers landed mostly in the A and B range, you are likely in genuine contact with your life. Functioning and feeling are reasonably aligned. That is worth protecting and worth noticing, because it can shift gradually without announcement. If your answers landed mostly in the C range, something has been accumulating. The baseline has been quietly lowering for long enough that the current level feels normal. You are managing, and managing well. But there is a cost to the management that hasn't been fully accounted for. If your answers landed mostly in the D range, the gap between the surface and what is actually happening underneath, it has become significant. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are someone who has been carrying too much for too long without enough space to set any of it down. And that is not a character problem. It is a human one. What produces the slow accumulation of not okay is rarely a single event. It is the sustained weight of days that ask more than they give back. Emotions that are managed rather than processed. Needs that are recognized and then set aside because there is never quite the right moment to address them. It is the normalization of a baseline that has been quietly lowering for so long that the current level feels like the standard until the question is posed directly, and the honest answer surfaces, and there is a moment of quiet recognition that something needs attention. Here is the paradox that the surface of fineness consistently obscures. The people most skilled at appearing okay are almost always the people who most need someone to ask them, really, ask them if they are. They have practiced functioning through difficulty for long enough that the practice has become invisible even to them. The performance and the person have blurred. And the only way through the blur is the kind of honest self-examination that most people only access when the crisis finally becomes visible enough to demand it. You don't have to wait for the crisis. The awareness itself, the willingness to look honestly at where you actually are, is already the beginning of something different. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to have a plan. You just need to let yourself know the truth. And then, when you're ready, let one other person know it too. You are allowed to not be fine before you break. That is not a weakness. That is the only honest alternative to the kind of fine that costs too much to maintain. What was the question in this quiz that you had the hardest time answering honestly, and what do you think that difficulty was trying to tell you? Hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.